To get the most out of arms training, we must know which muscles contribute the most to their size and functions. The arm flexors are divided into several muscles. The biceps brachii muscle consists of a long outer and short inner head. Then there is the brachialis, pushing the biceps brachii upwards, and the brachioradialis. The biceps brachii contributes 48%, the brachialis 35%, and the brachioradialis 17% of the arm flexors on average. The biceps brachii flexes the elbow and supinates the forearm, which is why it's better to train it with underhand exercises. Its long head contributes to flexing the shoulder up to about 60 degrees. The brachioradialis performs the forearm supination, pronation, and elbow flexion. Supination when the forearm is in pronation, and pronation when the forearm is in supination. The brachialis performs only the elbow's flexion, thus it's the strongest elbow flexor. Although you activate the biceps during pulling exercises, practice and studies show that you must target them in training for their maximum growth. Some studies show that the difference in biceps engagement is less than 10% when using standard techniques across different exercises. In his article, Dr. Brett Schoenfeld points out that both heads of the biceps are further divided into subsections. Each of these is more or less involved depending on the function performed. Exercises during which the upper arm is behind the body engage the long head of the biceps better than the short one. This includes, for example, dumbbell biceps curls on an incline bench, drug curls, and some other exercises and their variations. On the other hand, during exercises in which your upper arm is in front of your body, you better activate the short head of the biceps, such as when performing biceps curls on the squat bench, biceps curls with chest support on an incline bench, concentration curls, and chin-ups. Subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss a single video. The same applies to exercises in the position of double biceps when you activate the short head of the biceps at the expense of the long head. Since the muscle cannot fully perform two functions simultaneously, and the secondary function of the long head of the biceps is shoulder abduction. Some studies show that a neutral and underhand grip and rotation can be similarly effective. On the other hand, an overhand grip leads to significantly higher activation of the brachial and brachioradialis at the expense of the biceps. So use an overhand grip if you want to focus on brachialis and brachioradialis. The following study shows that you can increase the activation of the brachialis by slowing down the negative phase of the movement. The slower pace led to a higher engagement of the brachial at the expense of the biceps. Use a shoulder width grip in most cases, because a narrow grip can reduce the activation of the biceps by up to 13%. An extremely wide and narrow grip may lead to wrist pain. Performing biceps curls at shoulder width activates both heads of the biceps relatively equally. If you do barbell biceps curls, use an easy bar, which is easier on your wrist. Two-hand variations allow you to add small weight increments, which can be beneficial, especially if you are advanced. One-hand variations help you to detect and fix muscle imbalances. How would it be to take your physique to the next level as my team and I did? For that reason, I prepared the bonus PDF you can download in the comment section. Unfortunately, the standard biceps curls engage the biceps only in part of the exercise. The following study examined the effect of elbow angle during 3 exercises on biceps activation. The maximum activation in the lower part occurred when lifters performed exercises with the upper arm in front of the body. The opposite involvement occurs in the other 2 exercises, with the elbows along and behind the body, when the highest level of activation was in the upper part of the exercises. One of the best ways to engage both heads may be using chin-ups, mainly engaging the short head of the biceps in combination with Bayesian curls. If you simultaneously adjust your body during the Bayesian curls, you regulate the biceps tension. Thus, you maximally activate it during the entire movement, not only in its part as is the case with standard biceps curls. If you can't do cable curls but have dumbbells and a bench, use a combination of exercises behind and in front of the body. You can also include chin-ups, which sometimes lead to higher biceps activation than most biceps curls variations. It's an excellent exercise for developing arm flexors, latissimus dorsi, and other muscles. Learn how to use them for muscle growth in my pull-up video. Choose an underhand grip with chin-ups, activating the biceps more than overhand. The pull-ups with rotation are an excellent choice if you have gymnastic rings or adapters. Each of the biceps head contributes to a specific phase of supination to a different extent. You engage the short biceps head more when performing supination from a neutral grip or an overhand. In contrast, the long head contributes most to supination when the forearm is already underhand. You may achieve the highest biceps activation with concentration curls, primarily targeting the short biceps head. Increase its involvement by turning the little fingers upwards. Focus on the working muscles when you do isolated exercises, which can lead to a higher activation. Besides arm development for the best possible physique, health, and strength, it's necessary to train other body parts. Thus, check other videos from the fastest and most sustainable way to build muscle. Subscribe and turn on notifications to not miss a single video.